Well, Isaiah, thank you for joining me today. It's an honor to be able to speak to a legend like yourself. How are you doing, first and foremost?
I am good, and more. I understand that you're quite the legend yourself, also. So I'm honored to speak to you.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. But what I do know is that the legends will be on display and the future legends of this game are going to be on display on Sunday night for the NBA 2021 All-Star evening. What are you most excited to see this weekend?
I'm always excited to see the players' creativity when they're not being coached or under extreme pressure. We get a chance to see them try to do things that we don't get to see them do in a regular game. We get to see, particularly at the end, how competitive they got last year, in Chicago. And you really get a chance to not only see their competitiveness, but again, I'm excited to see their creativeness, how creative they can be, um, and and then you get a peek behind the lens. You get a chance to see kind of who's really friendly with each other, who has a relationship with each other, because you really don't know until you kind of see them away from the court. But this is a time where you get a chance to see them, in a free flowing area where you get to see like, who's really friends. Like I don't think any of us really knew how close Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant was until they ended up in Brooklyn. But we got a chance to have a glimpse of it at the All-Star game and kind of see some relationships forming and bonding. So that was interesting.
Now, you had some great runs on the Eastern Conference All-Stars, but of course, recently the NBA switched it up. So now two team captains pick their teams. Who would be your first selection out of the All-Star starters this year?
Um, I tend to lean towards the little guys. So I'll give you my first two picks: Steph Curry and Kyrie Irving, and then I'll go from there.
Showing the love to the fellow point guards. I love it. You obviously made 12 All-Star teams in your great career. What's the funniest moment or most iconic moment from any of the All-Star weekends that you were involved in?
Um, I would say probably two. My first All-Star game, I think it was in New Jersey, and I'll never forget. I went to the foul line, and I wasn't nervous before the game started or anything, but when I got fouled and I went to the foul line, I was, for whatever reason, like panic like came over my body, and I was like, oh, I'm in the All-Star game. And I'll never forget, I was standing at the line and I looked over, and Kareem was on the line, George Gervin was out there, and there were all the players that you had admired and looked up to. They were kind of like standing on the foul line, and I go to shoot, and I shoot an air ball. So that was a memorable moment. And then just walking into the locker room and you know seeing how the Celtics and the 76ers were towards each other, because during that time in the 80s, Dr. J and Bird, I mean, they were really, Philadelphia and Boston, they were going at it every year, 6, 7 game series, one of them going to the championship. And you saw how competitive they were. And then being in the locker room with them and seeing the respect that they had for each other, the Celtics and the 76ers, that was eye-opening and mind-blowing. And even though they competed hard and played hard against each other, and even had physical fights, but the respect that Dr. J and Bird had for each other, and Moses and Parrish and McHale, it was pretty awesome to see and be a part and just witness the respect that they were showing to each other.
If you were to create a dunk contest lineup of 4 participants of any players who have ever played in the NBA, current or former, who would be the 4 guys that you want to see go at it? If we could put them all in the time machine, bring them in their primes to the current day, who would you want to see go up against each other in the ultimate slam dunk contest?
Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Zach LaVine.
Okay. Now that would be tough. Who you got winning that one?
I don't know, but I saw Zach LaVine do a dunk in Toronto, and if people can just go back and watch what he did, when he took off from the foul line and he put it behind his back and he was just gliding in the air. I mean, that's the best dunk contest I've ever seen. And the creativeness and just how beautiful Levine's dunks were. I mean, to me, it was breathtaking. So watching those four, I don't know who I would pick, but I tell you what, Vince Carter and Zach LaVine would give the two old heads a run for their money.
Yeah, I hear you.